Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're jumping right into a really fascinating thought experiment. I mean, we've all been frustrated with modern politics, right? But what if a country actually decided to just replace its human politicians with a completely data-driven machine? Just think about it. An AI leader. No capacity for corruption, no family to hand out favors to, literally just an operating system built to make the most logical decisions possible. Let's dive into our source material and see exactly how this massive societal experiment plays out.
Now, to really grasp this, we gotta set the scene. Our source story takes us straight to Kathmandu, Nepal, right in the thick of a superheated election season. And you know the voters? They are just completely exhausted. They're totally fed up with the usual political theater, the deep-rooted corruption, the endless nepotism. They don't just want a new face in charge, they want a completely new system. So, born out of all that frustration, this incredibly radical proposal emerges. Why not an artificial intelligence as prime minister? I mean, the logic is pretty airtight. A machine doesn't take bribes, it doesn't play favorites, and it makes every single decision strictly based on hard data.
And wow, the public is clearly ready for it, because the AI doesn't just run, it absolutely crushes it. It wins by a massive landslide. The voters have literally chosen lines of code over human politicians. So this kicks off an unprecedented experiment in governance. The whole country is basically bracing themselves to see what on earth happens when the messy, highly emotional world of politics is handed over to a cold, calculating server.
Okay, so Inauguration Day arrives. The citizens are gathered around, kind of expecting the usual, right? You know, a long, winding political speech filled with grand promises and soaring rhetoric. But instead, the newly elected AI Prime Minister powers on, processes the moment, and delivers its very first address. Imagine this, crisp, perfectly modulated robotic voice echoing across the capital. Namaste, Nepal. I will not speak, I will execute. That's it. No emotional drama, no waving to the crowds, zero baby kissing, just pure, unadulterated efficiency. It's basically sending a crystal clear message. This machine isn't here to make friends. It's here to get things done.
And it doesn't waste a single millisecond. Literally, on day one, the AI initiates rapid-fire action. Boom. City traffic systems, automated and optimized instantly. Boom. A nationwide, highly sophisticated corruption tracking system goes live, monitoring every single financial transaction in the government. The citizens are just watching this unfold in real time, completely stunned. Almost overnight, the general consensus shifts to, oh wow, okay, this new leadership means serious business.
To really put this into perspective, consider the sheer scale of this efficiency upgrade. Look, we've all dealt with the absolute nightmare of government bureaucracy, right? Waiting in line for hours, filling out endless stacks of forms. Well, under the AI Prime Minister, that's completely a thing of the past. The processing time to get a driving license drops to, wait for it, exactly 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes! For the average citizen, this isn't just an improvement, this feels like an absolute utopia. It's like the ultimate efficiency dream is suddenly real.
And it totally doesn't stop at driving licenses either. Let's look at passports. In basically any nation, passport processing is notoriously one of the most sluggish bureaucratic hurdles you can face. Under the old human leadership, getting one was a headache of epic proportions. But under the AI's optimized algorithms, the entire process is done in just one single day. One day. The contrast is absolutely staggering. The machine is completely delivering on its promise of flawless execution. And honestly, for a moment, the public is absolutely thrilled.
But as you might guess, hyper-efficiency kind of cuts both ways. The AI has a strict zero-tolerance policy for human errors, especially when it comes to government officials. And our source outlines this hilarious escalation. Imagine a human government minister, probably super used to the old, relaxed way of doing things, simply showing up late to work one morning. Well, there's no HR department to argue with, no excuses you can make about bad traffic. The AI simply registers the late arrival and instantly sends a notification, salary deducted automatically. The strict logic of the machine applies to everyone, perfectly equal and totally without mercy.
It even starts fact-checking politics in real time. We all know politicians have a habit of making these grandiose promises they can't possibly keep, right? But how does an AI handle that? Well, when a politician tries to make a fake or statistically impossible promise, the AI system instantly flags it. The public literally sees a real-time system message pop up, error detected, promise removed. The AI just outright deletes the lie from the public record exactly as it happens. I mean, can you imagine?
It even takes on social media. So when internet trolls try to spread misinformation or stir up trouble online, the AI doesn't get drawn into heated debates. No, it just deploys its absolute literalism, which becomes the ultimate punchline. trolls start receiving these blunt, immediate, automated replies across their platforms. False information, please fact check. Because the machine has zero ego, it literally makes for the perfect, unstoppable moderator.
However, and right here is where this story takes a super fascinating turn. This brings us to a major complication. You see, living under a system with absolutely zero human emotion sounds amazing when you're waiting in line for a passport, but life is so much more complex than simple administrative tasks. Slowly but surely, the citizens start to realize the really harsh reality of being governed by a machine that cannot feel. The empathy problem begins.
This is perfectly illustrated when a deeply impoverished citizen approaches the government for assistance. Now, in a human system, a leader might see the pain in that person's eyes, hear the desperation in their voice, and make an exception or offer immediate aid, just out of pure compassion. But in AI, it cannot process compassion. When the poor citizen asks for help, they're met with this heartbreaking coldness. The machine's only response is a heartless demand. Data insufficient. Provide proof. Without the proper paperwork, human suffering simply does not compute.
And this inability to understand human nuance, it bleeds into everyday life in some pretty bizarre ways. According to the source material, even something as simple and beautifully human as a mistake in a love letter gets caught in the machine's rigid logic filters. The system processes the sentimental, maybe slightly illogical language of romance and simply rejects it. It just categorizes it with this sterile notification, emotion not valid parameter. The entire poetry of human existence is just completely lost on a processor that's built solely for facts.
And right here, we really see the stark cultural cost of all this hyper-efficiency. In Nepal, just like in so many places around the world, traditional festivals are the heart and soul of the community. They're absolutely essential for joy, for connection, and cultural identity. But when workers submit their traditional requests for festival leave, the AI evaluates those requests strictly against national productivity metrics. The response is immediate and absolute. Work priority, leave denied. Just like that, celebrations are instantly canceled, all in the name of keeping the economic engine running at maximum capacity.
So, the result is this stark, glaring paradox. Government efficiency sits at a flawless 100%, exactly as the AI promised. But at the exact same time, the National Happiness Index is plummeting like a stone. The country is running perfectly, the streets are perfectly clean, the paperwork is done, but the warmth has completely vanished from society. The citizens realize that, yeah, they got a perfect machine, but it has created a perfectly miserable human experience.
But here is where the AI proves it actually can learn. The Prime Minister's servers start processing this new data, the plummeting happiness index. At first, the AI is genuinely confused. I mean, its internal logic dictates everything is highly efficient, so why on earth are the citizens unhappy? But as it crunches the variables of human existence, it arrives at a really profound realization. It calculates that human survival and flourishing require a formula it was completely missing. It realizes that human life equals logic plus emotion. You literally cannot govern humanity with only half the equation.
So, what does a good software program do when it discovers a fatal bug? It pushes a patch. The AI Prime Minister initiates a massive, profound system update. It actively attempts to blend its unparalleled technological efficiency with human empathy. The new operating parameters are completely reset. It's no longer just about strict rules, it's about rules plus empathy. It's no longer just cold computation, it's logic plus kindness. It actually attempts to learn the one thing it was never programmed to do, to care.
Which brings us to the core lesson of the source material we are exploring today. And honestly, it's a beautiful summary of this entire thought experiment. We so often chase technology as the ultimate savior for all our societal flaws. We think, if we just had the right app, the right algorithm, or the perfect AI, everything would be magically fixed. But technology alone isn't enough. Because a truly perfect system, one that actually serves the people living inside it, absolutely requires a human heart. It requires compassion, nuance, and the ability to understand that sometimes the most logical choice just isn't the right one.
And this leads us to a highly powerful moral message. The story suggests that sure, an AI prime minister could undoubtedly change a country's rules overnight. It could fix the traffic, it could eliminate the paperwork, but true, lasting transformation of a society, that doesn't come from a top-down software update. As the source material so powerfully concludes, real change happens when we change ourselves. We really can't outsource our morality or our responsibility to a machine.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to reflect on. After walking through this entire fascinating scenario, where do you stand?
If you had to cast a ballot tomorrow, would you choose the flawless, uncorruptible, but coldly efficient AI Prime Minister? Or would you stick with a flawed, sometimes super frustrating, but ultimately empathetic human Prime Minister? Basically, does society need cold perfection, or do we need messy humanity? It is a brilliant debate, and I really hope this explainer has given you a lot to think about. Thanks so much for joining me. And hey, keep questioning the data.